Family is sad. How many times have we seen women twerking in front of their children? I mean, with reckless abandon. They don't give up. They don't care how it looks to the kids.
The kid ain't crying because his mama is dancing with a guy. Lil bro crying because he realized his mama for the streets, bro. He realized his mama is a thigh box. He realized his mama is a bop.
There's a TikToker by the name of Lil James, and he goes viral all across social media, making content with his mother. And for many people that love to enjoy this, it's completely harmless. He's been doing these clips since he was a little kid, and now he's growing into a young man, a good young man at that. The only issue is his mother doesn't seem to be on par with him. And he's a young man that looks like he's living with a mother, and the father is not in his life. And like many young men in the black community, we love our mother. And he's not only a kid that loves his mom, he loves people in general. He wants to help people out. And clips like this really tell the story of how great of a young man he is.
Good morning, Lil James team. It's Motivational Monday, and I got something so simple to tell y'all today. Let them talk. Let them talk. Let them talk. Ay. Let them talk. Ay. Let them talk. Ay. Nah, for real. On the real note, y'all. When they talk and that's called haters. If they talk behind your back and if they pillow talking about you, just let them talk. As long as they ain't physically putting their hands on you, let them talk. Because guess what? They just worry about what you're doing, and they worry about that one day you're gonna make it big.
As the old saying goes, you can only help those who want to be helped. Rewind, Dima! There was a situation a few days ago where Lil James and his mother happened to be at some level of a banquet or a wedding or something like that. And so his mother started doing what a lot of ladies do when the music comes on. Booty clapping sounds! She started twerking, and boy, was that behind jiggling. It was jiggling. And you know, if you're anybody who would see that booty jiggling like that, you would do what anybody else would do if they're smart. That's get behind it. Now stop the show. Unfortunately, we can't show the twerking right now on YouTube because laws are a little bit different now, but I'm pretty sure you can go find the clip on your own. So anyways, while she's twerking it up, Lil James acknowledges and he recognizes that his mother is twerking it up. So what does he do? Well, he does what anybody would do when they're a kid. He attacks the guy for dancing like that on his mother. And he has an attitude with the man who is dancing with his mother. And that might not be a problem for you, but it is a problem for other people. And I want to give a shout out to Uncle Willie D, who talked about this same thing on his video on the subject.
All they care about is what they want at that moment, how they feel. So we got McQuail. She is the mother of 10-year-old Lil James Tucker, a YouTuber from New Orleans. They were at this Bad Kid Prom 2023 event. Supposedly this went down December 7th. She is bent over, just twerking away.
3, 2, 1, you know I'm the hottest shoe.
And this guy, this other YouTuber named Runic, is behind her, pumping her. You know how they do, grinding. The little boy sees it and rushes over to separate them. And wouldn't you know it, the adults just kept on not adulting.
Want to give a big shout out to Uncle Willie D. He talked about it in his video called Lil James Tucker Heartbroken After Watching Mom Bust It Open for YouTuber. Now go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell on his channel. I want to kind of talk about what I consider black male attack dogs in Black America. And when you're young and you really don't understand what's going on, it's not that big of a deal because you just don't understand what's happening. But I saw it happening all too well. You see, in Black America, your mother can do really no wrong. That's kind of how she's canonized, like a saint, or if you would believe, she's like the messianic figure. She's like a person with the high Christology. She can do no wrong. Even when she's doing wrong, it's not her fault that she's doing wrong. It's somebody else's fault that she's doing wrong. And the reality is that little James is taught to see his mother in a higher regard. That is typically what parents do to their children of any race, to be honest. Parents want their kids to look at them in a higher regard than what they really are. And for parents back in the day, like my grandmother and my grandfather and, to my mom to a certain extent, the shortcomings they had in their life, they did their best to try to keep it away from me. Storytime music! My grandma, who was almost in her 90s, she was a church pianist. She's retired now. And that was one of the things that she did out of the love for music. She was a minister of music for over 50 years. And I had no idea that my grandmother even knew what alcohol was. I didn't know until one day I went into the bathroom in her room. And of course, I was looking for some towels. You know how older people like to have towels underneath their sink. And somehow I was playing around and then I grabbed a big bottle of Southern Comfort. Can I get a dun 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 sound effect? Now, I had no idea I was almost in my 30s when I found out that my grandmother even took a drink of Southern Comfort. And she waited until I was in her 30s to actually have a drink of it with me. Now, whenever I go back home, we always have a glass of Southern Comfort. But I did not know that she liked this kind of stuff until I was like in my 30s. Because how she lived her life in front of me was so important. She didn't want me to know anything about her shortcomings. But that is different today. You see, this lady, if she wants to be a freak and she wants to be twerking and thotting it up, that is one thing. To do it in front of your son is another thing. And this is what happens with so many young black men that come out and they start being aggressive towards their mom at a certain point. I'm gonna tell you what happens. Many young black men lose respect for their mothers and stop the show. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and comment on this video. Let me know what you think about this topic. But that's typically what happens, and we don't like to talk about it. A lot of black men who have defected or who don't really respect women, and that's not women's fault that, black men have an issue with them. But just like black women have an issue with black men because they don't respect their dad, so they don't respect other black men, the same is true with young black men when they see their mom doing stuff like twerking or embarrassing them. And that's what she did. She basically embarrassed him, right? If your mom is sleeping around and people in the neighborhood know it, you get made fun of, all right? You're a young man, you're not embarrassing yourself, but your mother is an embarrassment because she's a alcoholic, she's a Tatiana, whatever she is. And so when these young black men get older, they lose respect for their moms. And that's why they talk to them any kind of way. That's why they don't like them. And you see it with even certain people like Blueface and his mother Carlisha, or NBA Youngboy and his mom. They don't have any respect for them at all. And they talk to them in the same way because they've seen their mothers do some incredulous things in their life. So of course, they're not gonna have any respect for them. But then you want your son to have respect for you when you don't want to live up to the meaning of being a mother. So that's why people don't believe you. That's why you're distrustful. That's why you're doubtful, because you don't want to be a parent, although you have no problem having a kid. And so you embarrass this man, and then, he goes after the man because he's still trying to believe that, mama didn't do this. It's this guy's fault. No, it's mama's fault. And eventually this young man who's mad at the guy, and most of us are attack dogs. We always attack other men on behalf of our mother, trying to keep our mother's, image the right way. And, mama can do no wrong. But the fact is mama does do wrong, just like, you do wrong, and just like daddy does wrong. But the thing is, mama doesn't have to embarrass her son in front of everybody. But a lot of ladies think that this is completely okay. They don't have any problem doing so. And when your son grows up and he has a problem towards women or respecting women, or he has a problem toward respecting you, and then you want to act like you lived a perfect life in front of him, well, then we know that you didn't, because the same ladies do that. They bring different men inside and outside the house, and your son is trying to protect you, but he can only protect you if you want to be helped. And the reality is he can't really protect you at all because that's his father's job. And we know why the father isn't there after seeing this, don't we? Can I get a ooh sound effect? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.